Hello, thank you for being here. This is Dayna Rubin, and today we're talking about a quote that I've found, and it really connected the dots for me. It really connected everything, and it really made me think. And that quote is, and I'm reading it for you, don't limit your challenges, challenge your limit. So what is your limit? I want to start with the childbirth aspect of fertility and pregnancy and talk about what is the limit. Now, when we think about limits with childbirth, we think about our pain threshold. How much pain are we willing to bear? And that's the way society has made us think about childbirth. And it is a very backwards way of looking at it. So childbirth is actually supposed to be very beautiful. It's supposed to be very manageable. It's supposed to be very calm. And it's supposed to be something that is bearable, that is something that you can move through and surf through it and ride the wave of the contraction instead of pushing against it, locking up, and then feeling your body just fail on you, basically, is what happens with a lot of women. And that's why labor ends up being 72 hours and 48 hours. I mean, that's ridiculous. My labor was 5 hours. I made a lot of videos about this. And actually, my labor was under 5 hours. It was 3 hours for the first birth and 2 hours for the second birth. Labor is actually, for 80% of the people that go through my Bliss-Born hypnobirthing class, which is a modality that was created by Laura Wood and her sister. And they created this specifically for women that were looking for a different way to birth. I didn't want an epidural. I didn't want all of, the bells and whistles. I definitely didn't want to be cut. And again, those are certain things that you have no choice sometimes, and there are high-risk births, but only 5% of births are high risk. So there are ways for you to access the natural juices of your body, the oxytocin in your pituitary gland that is created, that opens you up like a flower to giving birth. So I had to really challenge my limit. What was my limit? What was I most afraid of? I was most afraid of tearing, just to be honest with you. And I was just not excited about having something that I thought was so big come out of a hole that was so small. And as I went through the class and I learned about that, I learned that first it is really small, centimeter wise, and it opens up like a sphincter. How else do I say that? It opens up like an elastic band, and the body is made to give birth. So it was something that I had a limit about, and I challenged my limit instead of letting my limit challenge me and keep me small. So that's what I really want to focus on today. What is your limit when it comes to not just childbirth, but pregnancy, the fertility aspect, conception, and maybe even let's push this out to other things in your life, like your career and your relationships and what's happening to you in your life right now. How are you limiting yourself when you should really challenge that limit and push it up higher, push it out so it's not a limit anymore. It becomes something that is behind you, something that doesn't affect you anymore. How can you move forward and not let your limits hinder you and keep you small? So don't limit your challenges, challenge your limit. In life, we have to budget. We have to look at things and, can we afford them? Do we have to wait to buy it? Do we have to save up? And the majority of people have to do this. There is a handful of folks out there, the top 1%, that don't necessarily have to, and they don't necessarily have a budget. But for folks like me and you that's watching this video, we have to look at certain things and categorize and see what we can do. And that budget gets tighter as you have kids, depending on what your situation looks like. Not everyone has a tight budget, but for the majority of us that have tight budgets, it is important to not let that limit us. The challenge with budgeting, with childbirth, with anything is your mindset. So where are you right now? Are you open to new ways of looking at things? Are you open to a hypnobirthing class that will help you, move past that fear of pregnancy, of actual childbirth? Or are you limiting yourself with what you think you're capable of? Are you limiting yourself due to lack of knowledge? Not really knowing what the body's capable of, because most of our healthcare practitioners are not really talking about this. And it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of things. Many people see natural childbirth or childbirth that doesn't have as much invasive actions involved as a little bit on the, something that is archaic, something that you do in a third world country. Why would you do that when you have access to a cesarean section, or you have access to an epidural or medication? Well, all of those things, they create the chain of reaction in the birth that could lead to an emergency cesarean section. So using the tools that God gave us, which is the oxytocin and all of the wonderful aspects of opening up like a flower and allowing the baby to come through us, the birth portal, which is a sacred portal for the spirit baby to move through and come earthside. It's a rite of passage, and it's a beautiful thing, and it can be beautiful. So don't challenge, don't limit your challenges, challenge your limit. Move past the fear, the anxiety, the frustration, and the unknown, and get into a space where you feel empowered, that you can do it. You can move through it. You can get to the other side of that fear and be successful. And it's not just with childbirth. We can look at this from many different angles in our life to make sure that we can get to the next step with confidence, with pleasure, and with happiness and joy. And the present in the end is amazing. It's a wonderful baby in your arms that you connect with on such a deep level that lights you up every time you see them, and it makes you whole on a level that you never thought you'd be at. So the joys of becoming a parent, whether you're a mom or a dad, it is a beautiful thing, and that's why I'm here to help. So I created an online course with the Blissborn Hypnobirthing class that I trained for. So I am an educator of Blissborn Hypnobirthing. And basically what that is it's a course that helps you get ready for birth, get ready for all the sensations of birth, get ready for what it feels like to open up like a flower, for what it feels like to get out of your head and focus on staying calm and staying in the moment when you're going through all the sensations, and then knowing how to manage all of them, getting over your fears, having your partner become a daddy doula or whoever is your partner during the actual birth, whether it's your mother, an actual doula, a friend, training them to help you navigate those sensations so you can get through it, and not get through it in 72 hours. Get through it in 5 hours or less, because 80% of the women that go through bliss-born hypnobirthing, their birth is less than 5 hours. So that is a testament to how well this modality works. There are a lot of things to choose from, but I hope you make a decision to choose bliss-born hypnobirthing and to really crush those limits in your head that you feel like you can't do it, or it just seems too overwhelming. That's how it feels at the beginning, and that's how I felt when I was pregnant and realized that I had to, give birth. And it felt very daunting, but at the same time, I knew that I could do it. I saw ancestors of mine, my grandmothers on both sides, get through it at home with no meds. And I knew if they could do it, I could do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. So I believe in you. Reach out to me if you have any questions. My website has the Blissborn class on it, and it is something you can have access to. I know I talk a lot about fertility and conception because that is a really big focus for folks, but that is just the alpha of this whole process. The omega is giving birth and having it be as beautiful as it could possibly be. If I could go back and do it again with both children, I have 2 sons, I would do it the same way. Because I learned a lot with the first birth, which was a hospital birth. And again, I talk about this a lot in my videos. And then the second birth was a planned home birth. And then he came 6 weeks early, and we still had a home birth, even though it was by the front door instead of in the water tub that I had, imagined in my mind. But that's just how it went. So there's a lot of little things to look at, but chew on them. Hopefully you have enough time between now and your actual guest date, because due dates doesn't really happen on that date. 100% of babies are born on their birth date, not necessarily the due date. So consider all of the nuances of this and really connect to how you want to remember that beautiful day when your baby comes earthside, and you'll be able to relive it every birthday, every year consecutively, with a big nice smile on your face, instead of having it tap trauma and fear and anxiety. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Many blessings to you, and you can find me on my website, daynarubin.com. I am on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and Rumble. My hashtag for most of those channels is I am Dayna Rubin. So at I am Dayna Rubin. So thank you. Email me if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you, and many, many blessings. Take care.